How many lovers have you made today? Chapter 13, Part 2.
Why is love a chore to you?
Nightmare questions, shifting back to her form.
Wouldn't most beings be thrilled to have the love of another?
The darkness trickling from Anon's body fades away as he chuckles to himself.
I'm sure they'd be ecstatic to be with the princess.
A heavy sigh leaves him as he locks eyes with the Nightmare.
We're not like that, are we?
Nightmare leers at Anon.
What do you mean by we?
Nightmare, we have more in common than I'm willing to admit.
Anon turns away and gazes off into the abyss of her world.
Just glancing around this place tells me more than you'd ever say. I also find comfort in nothingness. That's why I appreciate Luna for having taught me dream walking, so that I don't need a dream as often.
Anon takes a breath, hesitant and wanting to share with Nightmare.
Do you know why I avoid dreaming?
Nightmare is studying Anon closely. She can't get a bead on his thoughts or emotions. Even the topic leaves her unsure where he's leading.
Is it the nightmares?
No, those are normal for me.
Anon chuckles to himself.
I'm terrified by happy dreams.
The sneer that was on Nightmare's face relaxes some.
Why?
Anon turns from the abyss and looks over at her with a sad smile.
Because eventually, you have to wake up.
Out of the corner of Anon's eye, he notices a door materialize into Nightmare's world.
Guess it's already been an hour.
Anon looks back to Nightmare and finds her looking off into the abyss with a blank expression.
Good night, Nightmare.
That's all Anon says as he walks past and out of her world. Nightmare is now left to her thoughts as she gazes into the blackness she's always known. Nightmare lies down on the floor as that last comment of his continues to play over in her mind. She wanted to manipulate him, to turn him into her pawn, and yet a particular string is being pulled from within. One she hasn't felt in a very long time.
Good night.
Is all she can whisper before closing her eyes to rest. Once Anon steps out of Nightmare's dream and into the Hall of Doors, a wave of sickness washes over him. Luna is there waiting for him, and she catches the strange shift in his body as his breaths become shallow for a moment.
Anon, are you doing well?
She asks, taking a few steps closer. Anon quickly pushes down the churning in his stomach and gives Luna a hesitant nod.
I'm fine,
he answers before standing up straight and facing her.
It's already been an hour.
Luna wants to press him on what she just witnessed, but keeps silent on the matter. Chances are he wouldn't tell her anyway, and at the very least he doesn't appear to be injured.
That it has. As per our agreements, I shall now teach you more advanced dream manipulation techniques.
Finally feeling like himself, Anon nods.
A deal's a deal.
Follow me. I have much to show you in little time.
Despite the task that lies ahead, Anon finds his thoughts drifting back to Nightmare Moon. Should he have been that honest with her? He doesn't know, and it'll haunt him until he can see her again. Coming back to reality, Anon catches up to Luna before she leaves him behind. He must focus on the tasks put before him, because today is going to be a busy day. Spike walks into Twilight's room to wake her up for the festival today. However, as he enters, he finds her slumped over her desk, face in a book. Sadly, not a sight that's rare by any means. He shakes his head as he walks beside her and pushes her some.
Twilight, it's time to get up.
All he gets in response is a mumble.
Twilight?
Nothing.
Twilight!
What?
Twilight's eyes slowly flutter open as the blurry figure of something looms over her. It takes a moment before Spike enters her vision.
Spike?
Yeah, that's me. It's time to get up.
Get up?
Twilight's mind instantly goes into overdrive.
Oh, I'm late!
A blurry mass flies from the desk and runs over to the dresser as Spike finds Twilight quickly squeezing her maid uniform on. He's confused as she puts it on and then zips across the room in search for something else.
Where's my duster?
She lifts a large stack of books with her magic before tossing them to the other side of the room.
Twi!
I swear I put it here last night.
Twilight!
Spike shouts, catching her attention.
What?
Another set of books she was floating fall from her magic and bury her under a pile of books.
Today's the festival,
Spike remarks. Digging her way out, Twilight looks over to a calendar and finds a large circle around today's date.
Oh, so no work?
Spike shakes his head.
No work? If I recall, the princess wanted to talk to you about something.
Oh, almost forgot.
Twilight uses her magic to reorganize all of the books quickly she tossed around.
Yes, she wanted me to do something at the festival. What time is it?
Just enough time to clean up and get ready before breakfast,
Spike says, looking over Twilight's sorry state.
You could use a bath.
Blushing, Twilight rubs the back of her head.
That's true.
She takes off her uniform and walks over to her clothes drawer, pulling out a dress.
Are you excited for the festival? Are you excited for the festival?
Am I? Of course I am.
He smiles broadly.
I wonder if the princess will give me some bits to spend.
I'm sure if you ask her nicely, she'll give you some. Just don't overdo things like last time,
Twilight says, walking over to her bathroom.
That's for future me to worry about.
Spike.
Twilight glares at him some.
Alright, I promise I won't go overboard.
Good. Let's get ready and head over to meet the others for breakfast.
What are you talking about? I am ready.
Twilight shakes her head.
I don't think so, mister. I haven't seen you bathe in a few days.
She quickly snatches Spike in her magic and drags him into the bathroom.
I don't need a bath, I shed!
For one, Spike, that's gross. Two, what's this?
Twilight picks off a piece of skin that didn't entirely shed.
Tough. Whatever.
Spike is resigned to his fate.
It won't be that bad. Now let's hurry, we don't want to be late.
Anon once again finds himself being woken up by Celestia as she kisses him. His heart is racing, and his mind is trying to catch up on what's happening. But like before, he settles down before returning the kiss. Though unlike previously, there's something else holding him from behind. Confused by this, he breaks the kiss to find Luna in bed with them. This shouldn't be strange, but Anon can't dismiss being taken aback by her being here. Before, he was close to both sisters equally, so while bizarre, it wasn't weird that they shared a bed. Now? Well, now this isn't the case anymore. With him and Celestia dating, having Luna so close while they're intimate is throwing him off. It's one thing to kiss Celestia in public, but it's another thing entirely to kiss her in the privacy of their room. Anon turns back to Celestia, but avoids eye contact. Celestia instantly picks up on that. She can sense that he's uncomfortable with her sister's presence. She wants to say something, but with Luna now stirring awake, that conversation is put on hold. Anon is so disturbed by this that his body acts on its own, throwing him out of the bed as he hastily walks to the bathroom. "I'll be in the bath," are the only words out of his mouth as he leaves. Silence builds as Luna finally wakes up with a yawn, glancing around the room in search for something.
Where's Anon?
She asks. Celestia remains silent for a moment as she tries to understand what Anon was feeling. Is he perhaps uncomfortable with being intimate with her while Luna is nearby? She can only guess this has to do with his nerves about this relationship. To which she can understand. It's about comfort, and while in this room, just the two of them, she can freely admit that it's nice and private.
Sister?
Luna waves her hoof in front of her sister's face, grabbing her attention.
Is something bothering you? Luna, I would like to request a favor, but do not take what I ask as a slight against you. What is it?
Luna sobers up quickly due to her sister's tone.
I would like it if you were to sleep in your bed from now on.
Celestia can see Luna fall to a more neutral expression.
This is not a request of selfishness, Luna. I believe your presence in our bed slightly perturbs Anon. Why would that be? That I cannot say for sure. I can only note that his reaction this morning was one of unease. I'll be sure to talk to him later about it, but for now, I believe it's related to how this new relationship is, and how we can express ourselves to one another comfortably. I know you understand the difference between the public eye and the privacy of our chambers.
Luna wants to protest, but she cannot deny the logic behind it. There's also the fact that pushing for something so little could overall ruin her chances of being with them.
Yes, I do know how vast those two things can be. Very well, sister. I shall grant your request.
Luna gets out of bed.
Should I refrain from bathing with you two as well? Oh, I'm sure he's fine with that.
Celestia pauses for a moment.
Though I believe we should give him a moment to himself before joining. It'll take some time before things settle between us. I'm sure he'll be a lot more open in the future. No need to continue explaining yourself, I understand.
Luna walks over to a mirror and looks herself over.
We shouldn't tarry. Today is the festival after all. Oh yes, the festival! Let's hope things go well.
Anon is sitting alone in the bath, lost to his thoughts. Why does it feel so wrong to have Luna in bed? She's still his friend. The only thing that's changed is that he's dating her sister. Well, yeah, that about sums it up. Why does dating have to be so complicated? Why couldn't he just enjoy something for once? It's not like Luna's judging him silently about this relationship, he thinks. Judging him over the nightmare stuff, yeah, but not the dating stuff. However, no matter how logical he tries to be about this, he can't shake the feeling away. He wants to express to Celestia without words, to do things without questioning if it's wrong or right. Anon's face collects a shade of red. Celestia has also been direct with the idea of doing some more physical stuff. What if one thing leads to another? He can't do that with Luna around. Not that he expects it to happen anytime soon, but the possibility is still there. Having Luna around for anything else is fine, but Anon also believes that there should also be a line too. He's tried to blend in and understands this new world he found himself in, but this is one thing he may have to put his foot down on. Though he fears that he may not be able to relay how he feels. It's not because he doesn't like Luna, but because he wants some privacy with Celestia. Anon rests his head in his hands. What am I gonna do?
Problems?
A voice calls out. Anon jumps as he instinctively backs away from the voice he wasn't familiar with. It takes him a moment, but he recognizes Cadence as she sits in the bath. Cadence? She nods with a gentle smile.
That's me.
What are you doing here?
I use the royal bath from time to time.
Anon eyes her wearily. He's on the fence with Cadence. She did confront him about Twilight when they first met, but he knows it was out of love. And seeing that he's now helping Twilight, it would be wrong to hold it against her. Still, he barely knows her, and with everything in his thoughts revolving around Celestia, he's not sure how to react here.
Okay.
Cadence can see from his demeanor that he's hesitant. Now that she's surprised, they hardly know one another. However, she knows that he's facing some inner turmoil when it comes to his relationship, to which she wants to nurture.
I'm guessing you're having some issues with your relationship with my aunt?
Yeah, he almost forgot she knew. That feeling from before starts to well up. He doesn't want to talk about this stuff with anyone but Celestia.
I'd prefer if we dropped the subject.
His unsure nature quickly turned hostile. If she pushes him, this won't end well.
That's fine, I get it. It's none of my business. No hard feelings.
Cadence sinks a bit lower into the water to cover most of her neck.
Are you excited about the festival?
Not really.
Even with my aunt there?
Anon doesn't like her. It's as if she's prodding him for a reaction, though he's sure that's most likely in his head. She's curious. It's understandable, but still annoying. He knew this would be the case when dating Celestia, and this is only the start. Once it becomes public, all that privacy is gone. Anon smirks. He's sure Twilight will have questions too. He better get used to it.
She's the only thing I care about,
he says honestly.
Just to put it out there. That's also why I'm helping Twilight. I hate her, so much so that it hurts. But I love Celestia more than my hate, so I'll help Twilight. And if all goes well, she'll be back in Ponyville in no time.
I expected as much.
Cadence sighs as she looks up at the ceiling.
I'd like to apologize for how things went when we first met. I was insensitive to what happened to you, but I believe we have something in common.
She looks over to Anon as he looks at her.
I love something enough to put my thoughts aside to make it better. I hope we can help Twilight in the end.
Anon scoffs. Right. One of the double doors open as Celestia and Luna walk through. For Anon, everything becomes muted as the three greet each other. There are many ponies in play here that he must consider because, while Celestia is on the front of his mind, he can't deny that there are 3 other ponies that are unaccounted for. Perhaps that'll be something he'll face months from now. But he was never one to expect fate to play by the rules. I'm just putting this out there. Don't hold a grudge, because that shit sucks. Anywho, let's get on to our lovely donators. Top donators: Jessie Smith, Star630, BadassWaffle, Only One Thing, Ceru, Orion, and Caladis. Matchback JockeTF, Luciisu, Darkside, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel, Skies, Austin, Rolan, Sorpether, Mordred, Omicron, Lyrae, RuneScythe, Will, Chris, Winky, Rise, Soul Shadow Moon, Luigi, Chancellor Quest, Big Smoke, Bobcat, Murder Princess, Jet, Little Mighty, and many more awesome people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.